Cheers. Fucking hell. Hello and welcome to another video. So in this video I am going to be doing an editing video, and it is editing a shot that was a little bit controversial on the old Instagram because I didn't say that it was a composite, so a few people got a little bit bumhurt about it. But anyway, I asked him a couple YouTube vids past if anybody wanted to see an editing tutorial about how I made this pic, and so that's what we're going to be doing in this one. Also, like, Merry Christmas and that in it, obviously. Right, so let's get cracking. So I'm going to jump into the computer, start this recording. Right, so there's the final image, and I shall show you how I made that image. So I was out shooting with a mate, Only Shoot Manual on Instagram, check him out. And we were out at Brimham Rocks, local to me, and I've always been far too pussy to walk in there by myself, so he was kind enough to come with me, and and so I took, I want to say, I think it might be that shot. Yeah, so I think it's this shot here, and then what I've done is composite the moon on there. So I'm just going to reset this. This is how it looked straight out of camera, and then I'm going to do a little bit of editing on it, and then I'm going to show you how I composite that shot. So first thing I'm going to do is put my preset over it, and I've done a video on that, and I'll link it up here. So there's a free LUT with there, and that's what this LUT is. The white balance is always wrong, so I'm just going to change that. Yeah, quite happy with that. Pull the shadows up a little bit more, clarity just a little bit more, and definitely not doing that. A little bit of dehaze, a little bit more clarity in the sky. I'm just going to pull the highlights down a bit, try and get rid of some of the light pollution. I think I want another lot of clarity at the bottom there. Okay, cool. I think that'll do, to be honest. And so yeah, so what I did was, oh great, little offer there from My Protein. Yeah, so what I then did was I actually had this shot in mind before we went here. I've wanted to shoot this little tree for absolutely ages, and I had this shot in mind, and I knew that it was going to be a full moon while we were shooting. It was mostly a full moon while we were shooting, like 95, 96%, something like that. So I had the thought that there's not going to be much Milky Way, although you can just see a little bit of something is happening here. I thought I would do a composite of the moon before we'd seen this. Right, so yeah, so what I did was later on that day, later on that evening, I shot a series of images using my mate's Sony 85mm, and yes, he lent me his 85mm, and so I decided that I would take, I think I normally take like sort of 80 shots, but for the purpose of this I'm only going to use just about 30. So what I've basically done is use his 85, I've shot at the moon. You'd be surprised at what the settings actually are for the moon. You have to really crank the shutter to get it so that it's exposed correctly. So I think I was shooting somewhere along the lines of 500 on the shutter, 1.8, which was the, I think it was only like a couple of hundred on the ISO. So yes, what I did was borrowed his lens, shot 80. So yes, what I did was borrowed his lens, shot 80 shots, and then I'm going to stack them, and then we're going to blow up the image. So I've not done this video sooner because I've been trying to figure out how to do this using free methods. So basically I'm using a paid plugin for Photoshop to stack these images of the moon, and I don't really like to, I like to show how you can do stuff for free. So I tried stacking in Deep Space Stacker, and it didn't work, and I tried stacking in Cyril, which is another deep space stacker, and it didn't work. So I'm just going to show you how I did this image, and unfortunately this is a paid plugin called Astro for Photoshop, and I think it's like 40 quid. So you know, I'd rather show you how to do things for free, but I'm just going to have to show you how I did it. So we're going to open Photoshop, and then this is Astro panel here. And I just go to, I think it's Fusion, sky stack. We're going to select the light frames, and I've stuck the images on my desktop. And as I say, I actually took 80, I actually stacked 80, but for the sake of this, I'm going to do like, I think it's like 28, 29, 30, something like that, just to show you how I did it. We're just going to turn the alignment on, and yeah, I think that's it. I'm just going to ask it to go. And then all we do is wait and let it do its thing. So I have tried it with Starry Landscape Stacker, and it did work, but again, that's another paid app, so I'm not really helping you out here. What you could do is shoot 5 or 10, use Photoshop to just auto align, which or you could manually stack it, and I've got a video on that which I'll stick up there for you. So you could do this manually, and you could get less images and get Photoshop to stack them manually, so therefore you wouldn't be paying for any extra plugins. But basically with this kind of stuff, the more images you get, then the further we're going to be able to crop it in, so you're going to get more detail on the moon. But I'm going to give you the idea anyway. So just while it's waiting, would I recommend paying for Astro Panel? And yes, I would, for the sole fact of like something, it works with deep sky objects as well. So the difference in speed between using this plugin compared to me doing the deep sky stacking that I've done in the past in a previous video, this is way quicker. But apart from that, it's got a shitload of different tools and things that you can use, but I haven't used them, and I haven't used it to its full potential at all. I'd need to watch a load of videos, I reckon, and then I reckon I could get a lot more out of this plugin. But yeah, do I think it's worth it? I mean, just for the sake of this, where it's finished stacking now, then yes, it probably is worth the money, just because it's you know, it's a few clicks and it does most of the work for you. Yeah, I would recommend it. Anyway, right, so image is finished. Like I say, I only did like 30, so it's finished pretty quick. What I'm going to do now is, don't want to put a dot on it. I want to export. No, I don't. I want to save as, and let's just call it the moon desktop. And I'm just going to export it as a TIFF with no compression, and then I'm going to stick that back into Lightroom. Okay, so we're going to go to Library, to Desktop. Here is our moon stack. Going to drag that into Lightroom. Going to import that. That didn't work. Right, we've imported it now. So this is the image. And what we're going to do then is just crop that right down. So the image is quite large. And then let's see if we can make that look a little bit better with some sharpening. Reducing that dehaze, clarity. Yeah, I think that looks all right. That probably looks all right. Right, cool. Okay, I'm fine with that. Right, so we're going to find that image is already selected. And then we're going to edit these as layers in Photoshop. Okay, get rid of Astro Panel now. So there's my picky, and there's the moon underneath. What I'm going to do is move that one below. I'm going to make this a lot bigger. That doesn't look good. We'll see, we'll see. Okay. Stick you back under, drop the opacity on this one, and then I'm going to put a a layer mask, paintbrush, I'm going to go black, I'm going to go big, and we're going to start painting this in. Let's just zoom in on it there. I've gone high opacity with it up there, 100%, flows 100%, and the hardness is at 20. And to be fair, I think that's basically gone it through. So what we're going to do is put that opacity back to where it was, and you can see that I've smudged that because it's because I had my opacity far too high. So what we're then going to do is change that over to a white brush. I'm going to drop that opacity down, drop the flow down, and I'm going to start removing the edges. Might zoom right in close. I'm just going to get rid of these dark bits. And I'm literally just clicking around. I'm going to bring the opacity up further to get this done quicker. Yeah, what I actually found was I wasn't able to get rid of all of these dark areas going around the moon. But you can get quite close, you see, like that. There we go. So let's zoom out of that, see if I'm happy enough with that shot. Yeah, I think I'm all right with that. Might move the moon a little bit. Actually, I think that's fine. Right, so I'm just going to save that, which is Command and S, and then that's going to chuck that back into Lightroom. Here we are. And because I knew I couldn't quite get rid of all of that outline, what I decided to do was just make this part of the image darker. So I just dropped filter gradient on it, and then I just dehazed the shit out of it. There, let's pull that down. Oh. And there we go. Yeah, so that hid away some of those the parts from the image that I pulled across. And what people weren't happy about was that on the dark side of the moon you shouldn't see stars. I don't know the whole load about astronomy, to be fair, but yeah, I was quite happy with that picture, and I was really looking forward to posting it. And I would normally say, if I've ever made a composite or whatever, I would normally say, but yeah, I was excited for posting it, so I didn't, and yeah, I got a bit of stick. But anyway, so that is how I made that shot. So basically, I've been doing it a lot recently. I've got the 85mm, it's the longest lens I've got. I find a deep space object, shoot probably 80 to 100 shots, stack them, and then edit them like this. So that's it. It's actually a pretty quick one. Oh shit, no, I've been going for 19 minutes. But yeah, so that's how I made this image, and I'll link my Instagram down below. Shameless plug and all that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way, and I'll hopefully see you again very soon. Take care.